Ready? Start. Heard the council appearing for the operational creator and peruse the record. The council appearing for the operational creator invited the attention of this bench to various invoices raised by the operational creator along with delivery challans in support of their claim, and also invited the attention of this bench to the demand notice and the reply notice dated 8/6/2019 issued by the corporate debtor in response to the demand notice. The corporate debtor sent a very brief reply vaguely denying the demand of the operational creator and expressed their willingness to sit across the table and settle the matter through mutual discussions and cooperation. Learned counsel for the transferor company and transferee company, collectively referred to as applicant companies, states that the present scheme is a scheme of amalgamation by way of merger by absorption of Kapila Metals Private Limited, first applicant company, transferor company with Uma Devi Jalna Steel and Alloys Private Limited, second applicant company, transferee company and their respective shareholders under section 230 to 232 of the Companies Act 2013 scheme. The first applicant company is engaged in the business of manufacture of ferrous, non-ferrous metals and other similar metals alloys, and for establishing workshop for the manufacture of any equipment required for any of the industries which the company can undertake and to deal in such equipment. The second applicant company is engaged in the business of manufacturing of steel and metal alloys. The applicant company number 2 was incorporated on 23/1/2020 and the revenue generated is rupees 18 lakh and the profits earned are rupees 12,35,691 for the financial year 2019-20. The counsel for the applicant company number 1. The applicant company number 2 has submitted that there are two shareholders, namely Dr. Dinesh Bharuka and Mr. Rajendra Bharuka, holding 50% shareholding each in both of the companies as on 31/3/2020. Both the companies are under the same management. The management is of the opinion that the merger will lead to operations and more particularly the following benefits. The amalgamation will enable the transferee company to consolidate the business and lead to operation and create a stronger financial base. It would be advantageous to combine the activities and operations of both companies into a single company for linkage and the benefits of combined financial resources. This scheme of amalgamation would result in merger and thus consolidation of business of the transferor company and the transferee company is 180. All the shareholders of the merged entity will be benefited by result of the amalgamation of business and availability of a common operating platform. The amalgamation of the transferor company with the transferee company will also provide an opportunity to leverage combined assets and build a stronger, sustainable business. Specifically, the merger will enable optimal utilization of existing resources and provide an opportunity to fully leverage strong assets, capabilities, experience, expertise, and infrastructure of both the companies. The merged entity will also have sufficient funds required for meeting its long-term capital needs as provided for in the scheme. The scheme of amalgamation will result in cost saving for both the companies as they are capitalizing on each other's core competency and resources, which is expected to result in stability of operations, cost savings, and higher profitability levels for the amalgamated company. Learned Counsel for the applicant companies states that the board of directors of the transferor company and transferee company in their respective meetings conducted on 2nd July 2020 have approved the scheme, that the convening and holding the meeting of the equity shareholders of the applicant company number 1 for the purpose of considering and, if thought fit, approving with or without modifications the proposed scheme of amalgamation of Kapila Metals Private Limited, First Appellant Company, Transferor Company with Uma Devi Jalna Steel and Alloys Private Company, Second Applicant Company, Transferee Company, with which is dispensed with in view of the consent affidavits given by the two equity shareholders of the applicant company number 1, which are annexed as Exhibit K to the application. Ready? Start. Mr. Vice Chairman, sir, I would like to speak on this bill in the interest of the rapid economic growth in the country. If the nation grows from strength to strength economically, leading to eradication of the degrading and disheartening poverty of the people of India, the workers of this nation would also benefit, and they would also go above the poverty line. Sir, I would like to mention here that the plantation crops, as understood by the term so far, namely coffee, rubber, tea, and cardamom, have been giving this nation substantial amount of the much coveted foreign exchange annually. It must be noted that coffee exports alone have given our country during the last 5 years over rupees 1000 crores in foreign exchange by way of export earnings and export duties. I must also bring to the attention of this House that the famed tea industry in India today has become a sick industry affecting lakhs of workers and the tea planters. Sir, we ought to know that in the agricultural sector. The plantation labor is the best organized one and is getting nearly the same treatment, facilities and amenities like the industrial labor. Sir, coming from a plantation district of Karnataka, I sincerely agree that the welfare measures provided in the Act must be faithfully implemented and strictly enforced. But I cannot subscribe to the view taken by some that the planters generally are exploiters and are inimical to the interests of their own workers and that they must be dealt with severely. Sir, most of the planters of today are educated and they know that contented labor is conducive to productivity and peace in the estates and therefore would like to provide all the welfare measures and amenities to the workers. Sir, I would like to point out some of the very draconian, discriminatory and invidious urban directed amendments made in the plantations labor within bracket amendment liquor close oblique bill 1973. Sir, the plantations labor act is sought to be applied now even to holdings of 5 hectares and above, employing 50 persons and more. Originally in the bill brought before the joint committee, it was sought to be applied to holdings of 6.5 hectares and above. It would be realistic to make an amendment to the present bill to raise the size of holdings from 5 hectares to 6.5 hectares. Start. The council appearing for the financial creditor invited the attention of this tribunal to the relevant documents filed in proof of debt and default in support of above company petition. The council appearing for the financial creditor also invited the attention of this tribunal to the letter dated 1/4/2016 addressed by the corporate debtor to the financial creditor confirming the outstanding debt payable to the financial creditor for the financial year ending from 1/4/2015 to 31/3/2016 in their books of accounts. The above company petition number IB 4359 within bracket MB oblique 2009 is hereby allowed an initiation of corporate insolvency resolution process CIRP is ordered against Messrs. Vijay Group Realty LLP. This bench hereby appoints Mr. Anish Gupta, insolvency professional, registration number IBBI oblique 1 IPA 002 oblique IP-N 00285 oblique 2017-18 oblique 10843 as the interim resolution professional to carry out the functions as mentioned under the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016. The financial creditor shall deposit an amount of rupees 5 lakh towards the initial CIRP cost by way of a demand draft drawn in favor of the interim resolution professional appointed herein. Immediately upon communication of this order, that this bench hereby prohibits the institution of suits or continuation of pending suits or proceedings against the corporate debtor, including execution of any judgment, decree or order in any court of law, tribunal, arbitration, panel or other authority, transferring, encumbering, alienating or disposing of by the corporate debtor any of its assets or any legal right or beneficial interest herein. Any action to force, close, recover of, enforce any security interest created by the corporate debtor in respect of its property, including any action under the securitization and reconstruction of financial assets and enforcement of security interest Act 2002. The recovery of any property by an owner or lessor where such property is occupied by or in the possession of the corporate debtor. That the supply of essential goods or services to the corporate debtor is continuing shall not be terminated or suspended or interrupted during moratorium period. That the provisions of subsection 1 of section 14 shall not apply to such transactions as may be notified by the central government in consultation with any financial sector regulator. That the order of moratorium shall have effect from the date of pronouncement of this order till the completion of the corporate insolvency resolution process or until this bench approves the resolution plan under subsection 1 of section 31 or passes an order for liquidation of corporate debtor under section 33 as the case may be. This company petition is filed by Dena Bank, hereinafter called Financial Creditor, seeking to initiate corporate insolvency resolution process CIRP against Messrs. Monarch Multilayers Private Limited, hereinafter called corporate debtor, alleging that the corporate debtor committed default in making payments of loans repayable to the financial creditor. This petition has been filed by invoking the provisions of section 7 Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016, hereinafter called Code Red Base Rule 4 of Insolvency and Bankruptcy, application to adjudicating authority, Rose 2016. Subsequently, the debt was assigned to Messrs. Pegasus Assets Reconstructions Private Limited by Dena Bank and Messrs. Pegasus Assets Reconstruction Private Limited was substituted in the name of the Dena Bank. Body order of this tribunal dated 26/7/2021. The financial creditor sought for resolution in a sum of rupees 11,74,14,610 under 3 loan facilities granted to the corporate debtor. The corporate debtor filed detailed reply containing as many as 48 pages along with certain sale certificates relating to the sale of mortgage properties belonging to corporate debtor through auction conducted by the financial creditor Surfishai. The corporate debtor also mentioned the details of various cases pending between the corporate debtor and the Dena Bank. Most of the averments mentioned in the reply filed by the corporate debtor are not necessary for deciding